I'm here with Joe Mascia of the Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority. Of course, people here are talking about PBs and what they can do for Buffalo. How does that relate to the Housing Authority?
Well, the reason I'm here is I think this is one thing that we need to do and address with the Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority.
Mm-hmm.
We have a community there, community consisting of 10, 12,000 residents.
Okay.
And what we need to do is get the resident input and involvement in the budget process.
All right.
That brings more transparency to what we're spending our money on. And I think what happens is the residents, just like here, get a chance to get involved in where they want to spend the money and how they want to spend the money.
Right.
That's why I'm really interested in trying to get this program with the Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority.
Now, how much money are we talking about coming in overall?
Well, the Housing Authority budget is about $44 million a year. We get about $7 to $10 million in capital improvement money. So that $7 to $10 million is what's used to improve the property.
Okay.
So if we could have the residents' input in how this property, that budget money is spent, I think they would be more involved in how the process happens. And, the Housing Authority executive staff has their pet projects, but I think if people really knew what kind of deplorable conditions that some of these housing units are in, they would understand that what needs to happen is the people need to speak and let the administration know, the executive staff know where they want to spend the dollars. Okay.
Now, as far as in relation to the whole city, because some of the people speaking today talking about how no community should be left out, which I agree with.
Yes.
But how can that? What's the best way to make that possible?
Well, I think really what they're talking about is a great plan. What they need to do is set aside a certain amount of dollars.
Yeah.
And let each consummated district bring in the people who live in that district and get their input on how those dollars need to be spent.
Okay.
Again, whether it's for parks, whether it's for cleanup, whether it's for community centers.
Right.
But it's got to be done in the consummated districts. And I think what's lacking is a lot of the input and money that's coming into the district is all allocated through the mayor's office, not through the consummated districts.
Right.
If it goes to the consummated districts, and the people have input in their district, I think you'll see a lot more involvement in what happens and how the money's spent.
Now, is this Is this related at all with millions for Buffalo, or I should say billions for Buffalo? I'm not
billions.
sure.
No, this is a whole separate issue. Billions for Buffalo is basically talking about business coming into Buffalo.
Right.
And what I'd like to see, to be honest with you, is when they talk about job creation, the businesses need to be stakeholders in the community, not just come in, ask for dollars, get tax breaks, and not have an involvement in what happens in the community. To me, if you're going to get a tax break, what's the cost benefit to the people in the community?
Right.
We're spending our tax, we're giving you something, and what are we getting in return? I can see what I can judge, because the people in the inner city and minorities, a lot of people that I represent in housing, aren't getting those jobs. So we need to see what the cost benefit is when you're bringing somebody in, giving them these tax breaks, inviting them to come into Buffalo, have billions of dollars spent on their and projects that come into the city. We need to have those businesses be stakeholders in the community also.
I'm talking to Buffalo's #1 political operative. At least that's what some people think. Katrinna Martin Bordeaux, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. I want you to give people an overview of what PBs are all about. What's the meaning? What's it going to do? What's it going to accomplish?
Participatory budget committee will be. It's an act of putting the power back to the people in relation to voting on their community budgets and the allocation of funds and how funds will be spent in their neighborhoods. So, for example, there's a proposal for a playground in one of your neighborhoods. You already have 3. Maybe that's not your need. Maybe your need is a food bank. And I think that was an example that somebody used before. Also, with participatory budgeting, it gives the adolescents, or the young people, I think it starts at the age of 14, a chance to participate and to actually vote themselves on the top projects that the community has previously sat down and spoken about. So it's basically about bringing the community together. The community proposing particular ideas. And based on those ideas that the community is proposing, the top ideas are chosen, and then they choose which ones they will implement. For example, of who's done something like that recently, Legislature Betty Jane Grant.
Yeah.
She had been organizing communities at the Meriwether Library for stakeholder meetings, so the community would have input.
All right. Well, what's your overall view of this meeting here today?
I think it was a good positive meeting.
Quite a few people came out. I mean, given the hour and everything.
Yes, I think it was, it's raining today. I think it was a pretty good turnout. I think the council members that are in attendance were, attentive.
Yeah.
I think they're sincere, and I think that they'll support PB, participatory budget.
How many more meetings you think will there be on this subject?
Well, this is in relation to implementing this in the 2016 budget. So I would assume as many as necessary, but at least maybe even once a month until we actually get there. I'm not saying those necessarily have to be common council wise, but they can be at different locations in the community come together. And
all right. Well, thank you very much.
Somebody like Betty Jean Grant. She already does that.
Okay, so you think how significant is the leader? I should say is Betty Jean? Did she initiate this whole thing as far as informing people?
Well,
and everything?
I think she got her base rallied and involved and used to the idea of actually putting forward what we would like to see in the community.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much for your time, and you have a good evening.
All right, you too.